To craft Legendary Sigils, Runes, or the PvE Legendary Armor, you will need Gift of Craftsmanship for each piece. And in this guide, I will show you in details how to get them step by step. In each one of the major cities, you will find vendors that will have this icon above their head, and they are called Faction Provisioner Vendors. When you talk to those vendors and go to the tab that says Crafting Rewards, you will find the Gift of Craftsmanship, and you can buy it using 50 Provisioner Tokens. You can get those Provisioner Tokens from the same vendors in the first tab. For each one of the vendors in the major cities, you will always have 3 options. You can buy tokens using certain items, and you will find those items on the right side here. Some of them will be account bound, like the Mystic Forge stones, and other items will be stuff you can buy from the trading post directly if you want. When you have the items required in your inventory or bank, just buy the token, and when you do so, it will completely disappear. That's because you can only buy one of those tokens per day per account. And so if I buy the second item as well, since I have enough ectoplasms, it will also go away. The vendor we are looking at right now is the one in Lion's Arch, and it will be right beside the Commodore's Quarter waypoint. The next vendor is right beside the Diesa Gate waypoint in the Black Citadel, and it's literally right beside the waypoint. When you talk to the vendor, you will find the same thing. In the first tab, you can buy a total of 3 Provisioner Tokens. Each one will require different items. Out of those options, I only have the Obsidian Shard available, so I will buy this item, and then it goes away, and I cannot buy it until the next day. All the other vendors in the rest of the major cities will work the same way, with one exception. When you talk to them, one of the options you can use to buy Provisioner Tokens will need a time-gated item. In this vendor right now, which is in Rata, you can buy 1 Provisioner Token for 1 charged quartz crystal. However, you can do that an unlimited amount of times. So for example, right now, I only have 2 charged quartz crystals, so I can use them at the same time, and I can buy 2 Provisioner Tokens. So those items are not limited to 1 per day. You can buy an unlimited amount as long as you have enough materials. The other 2 items are still going to be limited to once per day, and if you buy them, you cannot buy them anymore until the next day. This faction vendor in Ratasum that we are talking to is right beside the accountancy waypoint, and you can find it right beside the bank vendors. As a side note, because Ratasum has multiple levels, the accountancy waypoint can be found in the 3rd level, which is the underground one. The next vendor is right beside the Reckoner's waypoint, which is in the Grove, and again this will be in the 3rd level, which is the underground one. When you talk to the vendor, you will see the same thing. 2 options that are limited to only once per day, but the first one will be unlimited and it will require a time-gated item, and I have 2 of them, so I can buy 2 Provisioner Tokens. If you had more, you can buy more for an unlimited amount. The next faction vendor can be found right beside the Minister's waypoint, which is in Divinity's Reach, and it's in the 1st level, the upper level. You will find it inside the building that will have the bank. This vendor will have the same thing, 3 options. 2 of them are limited to once per day, and the first one will require a lump of Misrillium, and you can buy an unlimited amount. And the last major city vendor can be found in Hoelbrak, right beside the Trade Commons waypoint, and this will be in the 2nd level, which is the surface. This vendor will have the same thing, 3 options, 2 of them are limited to only once per account per day, and the top one can be bought unlimited amount of times. So to do a quick recap, we have 1 of each of those faction vendors in each one of the 6 major cities. The vendor in Lion's Arch and the vendor in Black Citadel will sell 3 items. Each one of them can only be bought once per day. But the other 4, the one in Hoelbrak and the one in Divinity's Reach, and then the one in the Grove and the one in Ratasum, all of those will sell 3 items, but one of them will be unlimited amount of times, and they will require time-gated stuff. The second type of vendors can be found in Heart of Stone maps, and they will have multiple tabs. Each one will contain certain items that you can use to exchange for Provisioner Tokens. The first tab will always contain 1 account-bound item. In our case, this vendor in Verdant Brink will offer you 1 Provisioner Token in exchange for 1 reclaimed metal plate. All the other tabs will be items you can craft or you can buy from the trading post. Crafting them, of course, will be a little cheaper than buying them. For each one of those tabs, we can only exchange 1 Provisioner Token per account per day. So if I buy this token with 1 reclaimed metal plate right now, it's now locked and I can only buy it again tomorrow. And then the same apply here. You can only exchange one of those items, not one of each. So if I buy this one, for example, the others are locked and I cannot use them. So what you want to do for each one of those tabs is you want to look at those items, see which one is the cheapest to buy or craft, and then use it to exchange for a provisional token. The wiki link I will provide in the description below will have a table and it will contain the price of each item. So it will be easy for you to identify the cheapest one to buy, or if you want to craft, it will be a little cheaper. And once you are done buying one of each item from each of the tabs, you are done with this vendor and you can go to the next one. The vendor we are talking to right now is right beside the Shipwreck Peak waypoint in Verdant Brink. The next vendor is right beside the Wanderer's waypoint in Auric Basin. It will also have multiple tabs. The first one will be account bound and all the others will be stuff you can craft or buy directly from the trading post. And once you buy one of them, it will be locked and you cannot buy from the same tab again. And the last vendor is in the Tangled Depths map right beside the Ogre Camp waypoint, and you will find it inside this hut. You can buy a provisional token from the first tab for one chuck egg, and the other tabs will be stuff you can craft or buy from the trading post, and when you buy one, it will lock the entire tab and you can only buy again tomorrow. If you found this guide helpful, please subscribe and leave a like to support the channel. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And if you want to see my other guides, I will leave links for them in the description below and you will find a couple of them on your screen now. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next guide.